steering wheel work for itself. And I'll show you how I can set that up. So we talked about our stroke for going forwards. Now we're going to talk about a stroke for turning.
Welcome to my channel. I'm here at the outdoor adventure show with my son Kyle. He's actually here with Jetboil. He's pouring some coffee. Let's go on in. I hope you enjoy. That's awesome, man. That's not a photo bomb, that's a photo bonus.
I'm the owner guy.
But once the road ends, all that wilderness to the north is inaccessible. There's no roads at the moment. There are a few that are starting to be built to access resources, but right now as it stands, it's a rugged journey to get into these areas. Even just getting to this place is quite the adventure.
And so both of our trips we used the services of Gold Seeker Outfitter out of Mud Lake. We worked with...
It's a pleasure to be here at the Outdoor Adventure Show and to have this opportunity to speak to all of you, share a little of what I do, my adventures out in the wilderness. I know today we are all kindred spirits. We're all cut from the same cloth. You're all fellow outdoor adventurers and explorers because that's why you're here at the show. So this should be pretty easy. I don't really have to explain anything. Everyone gets it intuitively, right? Who's seen me before? I think I've presented here a few other times. Oh, a few of you have. Very good. Has anyone read any of my books? Wow. Kindred Spirits, indeed. That's nice. There's my most recent book, Where the Falcon Flies. I will tell you a little bit about that one and some of my other adventures. But let me start this off properly. I'm going to start this off in my office. You'll get to see a glimpse of my world. Here's my office right there. But my favorite fact of all about it is come July it has the world's highest concentration of mosquitoes and blood-sucking insects. That's what they don't tell you at those booths I saw throughout there. They're not advertising that. Some of my other adventures that I've written about in my books, like The Whisper on the Night Wind, are about using old journals, explorers, lumberjacks, diaries from centuries. My favorite right now are fig bars. I find fig bars have a lot of calories in them, and unlike most granola bars, they're not so dry. And when you're going to eat them for 4 months straight, I like fig bars, but there's these bioprotein bars that come from BC. If you're trying to get like the highest calorie ones, I think they have 300 calories a bar, so I eat those ones. And a few different ones, but I mean, I just try to go for variety. After a while, they all start to taste the same. Okay, how much space does it take for the camera, the batteries, to get all the footage? Well, I travel as light as I can, and I'm really not a filmmaker, right? I just do books, that's what I do. So I'm traveling under like the most basic gear you can. I take one GoPro, and that one GoPro, I have one sort of clamp for it, just one attachable part, and it's like the basic clamp like that, so I can clamp it on the gunnel of my canoe, and it's on like a swivel, so it can spin around whichever way I want it. That one I find is very useful. Like that's what I took this picture with. These are all video stills from my GoPro. So I'm just holding the GoPro on that clamp thing out from my arm. I was portaging around a canyon up in Nunavut on my journey across the Arctic when I took that. And then I take a solar panel from Goal Zero, about that big, to charge the GoPro. I experimented with taking extra batteries, but I found it wasn't worth it. That it was just easier to recharge that one battery whenever the sun was out than it was to fiddle around, because I found that they lost their charge quickly when it was cold anyways. So I just take one battery for that. And then for wildlife, that's the one drawback of a GoPro or an action camera, is it has no zoom. So you can't really get good photos or videos of any animals. So I take one other camera just for wildlife, which is another video camera. It's the, what's it called? Sony, you can see I don't know cameras. Sony Handycam 4K. And that was actually recommended it to me here at this show 5 years ago. They said it was idiot proof. And I said, perfect, that's what I'm looking for. And it's just like,
Thank you.
Gets dropped in the middle of nowhere with no food, no water.
He's been bitten by a reef shark. He's been chased by a jaguar in the Amazon.
It was about a guy who would go out in the middle of nowhere and just try not to die.
He's the greatest American hero ever born. In Canada.
You really were starving. You would see you on day one, and then you would see you 5 days later. You looked like shit.
Hey everybody. So what's up? What do you want to talk about? I was thinking about this, just driving down 400 this morning, stopping at Timmies, get that coffee in. I'll ask you a question first. We're going to make this a Q&A right away because that's always the most fun. And I never have as much time as I want. So anyway, welcome. Hi, Doug. That's the man who taught me almost everything I know right there. Yes, you're Doug Beckford, I am. That's embarrassing. Let's go there right now. Actually, that goes back to 1986-ish, and I saw this little tiny article in the Toronto Sun, a little like 2-sentence thing. You can learn edible wild plants and survival shelters, and I thought, ooh, disillusioned as I was with the music industry, I thought, well, that sounds like me. I mean, I want to be Tarzan, I want to be Jacques Cousteau, and that's where I met that gentleman down there who took me out. And also, let's see, on the very first class, I cut myself badly. On the very second class, I cut myself again really badly. And then Doug proceeded to teach me how to sharpen knives. Right back there. Hardest places to survive. I'm not sure who's seen me before, who knows the answer to this. Norway. Which depends on how you're asking the question. If it was experiential, yes, the walk down the mountainside in Norway was the roughest I ever had. Not the most fearful I ever was, but the roughest I ever had. The most fearful would probably have been around the tigers in India. That was just too spooky. But the hardest place to survive, it's a different question. Well, here's the right answer. Here's the beginning of the answer. It's got nothing to do with geography. Not with anything at all. You can put me on the ruggedest place you want to put me. If it's 22 degrees Celsius, I'm good. I got time. I got forgiveness time. I'll figure a few things out. If it's below zero, it's freezing, it's tough. The answer is wherever it's cold. That's where it's hard. That's about it. That is my answer, because I don't even like the word scared or scary or stuff like that when it comes to the woods. One scary situation I had was with this gentleman down here, Doug. Remember when the only time I've ever left the woods out of fear, when we were at Moon River and you and I went, and I said I heard all that insane, like satanic screaming across the lake. Yeah, I had to wait. He was sleeping. And I got scared there. It had nothing to do with wildlife, but I just don't consider wildlife scary. Complications with filming up there was that lenses need wiping, batteries go dead, cards go out. There's a little tiny glitch for no reason whatsoever. Temperature shuts down the camera because it's too hot. Temperature shuts down the camera because it's too cold. Rain shuts down the camera because it's too wet. On and on and on again. I had to be always of two minds, okay? So unless Stroud, who is a survival instructor, and I'm out there to survive. That's one track that I'm on. Now I'm literally in the middle of nowhere, and nobody's coming to get me. So I got to do this right. Things could really go wrong for me while filming that stuff. So I got to be a survival minded. Okay. So when the survival's really rough, the filmmaking sucked. Because I just got to stay dry. Put on a GoPro, a little camera. GoPros weren't even around when I started. So you can get a little camera. When it's 22 degrees and sunny, and everything's working properly, and I've got my shelter, now I'm filming beautifully. So that was the other train of thought that I was on. I was a filmmaker, and I was a survival guy. I was there to survive, and I was there to film and capture a story.
Because when you travel on this train, you are sleeping on board the train in a bedroom. You have all your meals in the dining car. You have access to the glass dome carriages. So it's very much sort of like a cruise on rails experience. Whether we travel eastbound or westbound, we go through the mountains during daylight hours. We realize that this is a highlight. We know that that's why all of you are traveling with us basically is to come and see these grand landscapes. So we do travel during daylight hours during the mountains. This is showing our Canadian train in the summertime. So as you can see, it's quite long. It's up to 28 carriages in the wintertime. Looks like a big silver ribbon going along. In winter, we're smaller. We operate about 8 to 12 carriages at that time. So, and that reflects how many people we have travel with us. A summer train will be 250 to 300 people per departure, and in the winter, we're down to about 60, 65 people per departure.
Okay, so a really good day at the Outdoor Adventure Show. I got myself two things. So I got myself a kayak carrier that I'm going to use in the Muskoka River X and throughout the paddling season upcoming. And I also got myself an Agawa saw. So that's a breakdown 24-inch saw, and it came in a leather sheath. So it's a combo pack. And I got that because I could have used that a couple of weeks ago in Algonquin Park, but I'll use that this year in my adventures into Algonquin and beyond. So anyways, thanks for joining, and please subscribe to my channel for future adventures. And just for an FYI, I paid 150 bucks Canadian for each, so 300 in total. So have a good day. Thanks for joining.